Hello, and welcome back. Sandy and Jesse Rodriguez team. First of all, I'd like to thank you for your well wishes. As you can see, took the hard patch off my eye. Doctor only recommends that, or suggests, that I wear it at night. It's probably to prevent from me scratching, just a habit. So that's to protect at night. But for the most part, during the day, took the patch off. It'll be a couple of days, a little sore, but coming along. Today, I would like to still share with you my continuing discovery as I try to get a good understanding of mindset. What does it mean when we talk about mindset? And as I mentioned on my previous video, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker, Mastering the Inner Game of Wealth. And the reason I mentioned this particular book is that I am very intrigued as to what is being discussed on what I call the formula or the succession of why certain things happen, or the way we think. And one in particular, and I'll remind you, was where he talks about, he lays it out in a formula concept. He talks about programming to thoughts, thoughts to feelings, feelings to actions, and actions to results. So we have been hearing on the mindset, all about mindset. Well, get your mindset. What is your mindset? That's about the way we think, your thoughts. So all this now makes sense to what I'm reading in the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. But this puts it into more, let me just say, for me, and I'm sharing with you, you might have different ideas or different thoughts. For me, it puts it into a perspective which I can understand, especially when they talk about the programming, how it impacts on your thoughts. So let's talk about what does it mean about programming? Is it like programming a software program? Well, sort of, because you've heard the terms. If some of you have worked with computers, or have worked in a private industry, or with corporate America, or with the government, like Sandy and I, and we dealt with mainframe computers, you would hear the term garbage in, garbage out. Now, that can have the same connotation to us. We're getting programming. Garbage in, garbage out. So what is this programming? And I'll break that, and I'll share with you the three stages, or three areas, sort of, to talk about where is this programming coming from. Number one, it comes from verbal commands. You hear things here and there. So number one is verbal. Number two is modeling. We see others, and we see, especially the one that comes to mind is the younger generation, when they look through the athletes, making all this top money, the attention. They're starting to love like role models, which to me, I have my opinions on that, versus role modeling on teachers who sacrifice so much and spend, our growing, when we're young, they have the most impact on molding us as to how we think and what we are going to, which direction we're heading. And then the last, it talks about, so there was number one, See, I'm already forgetting my stages on the very first one is verbal. Then you talk about modeling, and then you talk about experience. What experiences have you had currently or in the past that affect you the way we think about? In this particular case, let's talk about wealth building. You know, becoming in your home business. Why is it you're in home business? You want to become, independent and be able to help others, whatever your purpose is. But sometimes you just can't get there. Something's holding you back, and that's the mindset. So that's why this book, to me, talks about verbal, number one. What have you and I have heard all along? Oh, the rich, they're just greedy people. Or there's some bad connotations given to rich people. And maybe you and I grew up hearing that. But you heard some kind of a verbal one that comes to mind to me was, you're telling your children negative things. Oh, don't do that. Oh no, you're bad. Or, the devil's gonna get after you. So you're hearing these bad commands. So there's verbal input that's coming into you. That's part of the programming. The second is modeling. Who, as you were growing up, served as a role model for you to say, hey, this is the way you should go. This is the road you should take. But yet they were the ones that setting that standard. Like I talk about my coach, Coach Bradshaw, in football. Not only was he a football coach, but he would go out of his way to say, guys, I know you're going to get into trouble. Because he knew we were guys. You're young men. But should you at any time get into any trouble, call me. That's what he would say. I'm here for you. So he was a role model that someday you would say, when I grow up, I want to be like that coach. So there's role models who have been your role models in your lifetime. And then the last, we come to experience. What experiences, good or bad, have you had along your career? Maybe you were running a small business and you went bankrupt. You might say, hey, this is just not the way to go. So that could be a bad experience or a good experience. Excuse me, my eye just keeps tearing. Or it could be a good experience in the way that you saw others, from when they came from nothing, struggling, but it was something that even their family would say, well, that's never going to go. But they made it go. Like today on the news was about Amazon. The gentleman that found Amazon, selling books out of his garage. And then today it was announced that, he bought the Washington Post for $250 million. That's what I mean by whether you had a good or bad experience along your life experiences. So just sharing some thoughts. I'd like to welcome your comments on what you think about programming affecting your thoughts to your feelings to actions, and your actions to results. And then the three factors that go into the programming. That's going to be your experiences, starting from the bottom. You're going to have your experiences, your modeling, and your verbal. Where one of those three, maybe all three affected you, or maybe just one. And that one particular aspect of the programming has affected you as to why you just just as they say, your wheels are just spinning in mud and just not able to go. So let me hear your thoughts. What do you think about what I just mentioned as to what is mindset? See if you agree or disagree. Your comments, please. This is Sandy and Jesse Rodriguez. Bid you a good day and take good care of each other. Oh, and by the way, have a really good weekend. Bye now.